These are my Corbeau Trailcat Seats. They've been in Project 2J now for about 2 years, and 12 months ago I put seat heaters into them. Today I'm going to go over what they've been like, what I don't like about them, and how we're going to fix that issue that I really dislike. So stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm Daryl, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to go over our Corbeau Trailcat Seats in Project 2J. But before we get into those, I thought we'd have a quick chat about the replacement seat bushings that I put into the OEM seat runners. They're a stable seat bushing, and talk about timing. Yesterday I had a comment on this video that was done 3 years ago saying that, oh, they only lasted for 6 months for this guy. Well, I've had them in for 3 years and they've been perfect. There's no play in the seat or anything. They've done what they should do. The issue that I have had though is with the top bushing. There's a cover that goes over an inner bushing and that broke, if you can see that. I did have a spare one, so I've put that on, and that's sort of on its way out too. I find these fall off the top bushing, exposing the inner bushing, and I suppose I could fix that with a little bit of silicone or something. However, when they've fallen off, I'm slack and I don't put them back on again. But the inner bush is worn quite well, and as you can see, there's no play. It's worked fine, and apart from that one little issue, after 3 years, I'm pretty happy with them. I find that for a replacement part for something that you can't buy off the shelf anymore, I think they're a really good option. So make of that what you will. We all have different experiences, but this has been mine. But back to the Corbeau seats in Project 2J. Really happy with them. They've transformed the vehicle on a long trip now, especially with the seat heaters. They are absolutely gorgeous. It's a really nice vehicle to go touring in, and there's not too many people say that about their 2Js. With regards to wear, they look as good as the day I've put them in because they are vinyl and not leather, and I think that's a good thing in a four-wheel drive convertible where the sun's shining on the leather and they can get wet and blah blah blah. I find vinyl's really good for that thing, so big tick for that. The item that has caused me some issues, and this isn't the suit's fault, this is my fault. I must have a pair of jeans that's got a rivet that's bent on the back pocket, and I do have some marking on one of the side bolsters of the driver's seat, but that's my pair of jeans' fault, not the suit's fault. So that's the only blemish that's on the suit. The suits are as good as the day I've put them in. So chuffed with that. The item I dislike about them, when I purchased these, I just went through sort of the base frames and everything, and I ended up buying the base frame that adapted the OEM base frame in the Jeep to the Corbeau stud pattern, and it's raised up the seats. We're going to find out today. It may be about 50 mils. Dislike it a lot. What have I done about the issue? I've bought a new set of base frames. Corbeau sell 2 sets of base frames. They sell an adapter frame that adapts to your OEM suits. They also sell a complete replacement frame. What isn't spelt out though is that the adapter subframe lifts up the seat, whereas if you buy the complete replacement subframe, which I've purchased another 2 of, live and learn. Keeps it at the same level or slightly lower. I'm not sure yet, but it's going to be lower than what this is. A lot of people like their seats up high. I don't. I like to sit a bit lower in the vehicle. And with the 05s, 06s, I think because of the airbags, don't quote me on it, but with the 05s, 06s, I'm fairly sure they drop the height of the seats, and I quite like that seating height. So hopefully these will get me back to that. The only trap for the unwary, if you're purchasing subframes for your 2J, is that if you're in a right-hand drive country, you need to remember it's going to be swapped over, because Corbeau market these as drivers and passengers side. So the passenger side will go on my driver's side. Yes, you American people, I do understand that it's the steering wheel's on the wrong side, but that's how it is in some parts of the world. Viva la différence. So let's rip out the driver's seat, let's install the new subframe and see what the height difference is compared to the passenger's seat. I get a few comments where guys are saying, oh, it's really hard to work on the seats in the vehicle. 4 bolts, the whole thing's out. So just worthwhile doing that, but easy as. So with the seat out now, I've just got to undo the 4 bolts that hold the seat to the subframe, undo the clasp for the seat belt and transfer everything over to the new subframe, and we can bolt it all back in. An interesting side note is that this base frame I'm putting on is about 5 kilos, just over 5. And the OEM version of this is 14 kilos. So we're pulling, what, 18 kilos out of the vehicle at least? That's good. Now this new base plate just bolts straight up, the runners just bolt straight up to the seat. Now I'm going to pack the front of this base frame with 3 washers. Now we're not going to do all those all the way up because we've got to fit it to the back. This is such an easy install compared to the last version. And we are now right to go back in the vehicle. So if we look at the 2 seats, you can see this seat is a lot higher than this, and there's about 50 mils in it, so it's about 2 inches. I've gone back and done a little bit of research between shots, and it appears as though the 97s to 2003s had about a 50 mil higher seat. So I presume the higher seat is very similar to the early model TJs, and the lower seat is very similar to the later model TJs. I have fiddled with this seat to get it where I want by adding some washers and the like. I have had to lift the squab up a bit. I find that the base frames come with a very flat squab, and I like a little bit of support under my knees. So fiddled with this and really happy with where it's ended up. So all I have to do now, change this one out and we're done. And as you can see, with some YouTube magic, that passenger seat is now installed. Again, I've had to play with some spaces to get the front of the squab where I wanted it, but it's worked out quite well. The seats are at exactly the same angle as what they were before, and they're the same seats. Everything's the same except they're now 50 millimeters lower. The only downside now, I don't have a fold forward function on either of the seats, but as I'm not running a back seat, I really don't care. So something to think about, and it's probably why I went for the adapters rather than the complete seat frames in the first place, so I could keep that fold forward function. But anyway, sometimes you just need to do things twice to make it right. But that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.